Oh, we're back. On the last episode of Trash Can Nostalgia Vomiting in front of Purple Brick Wall, we talked about the zeitgeist of zillennial culture, Disney's Treasure Planet and Atlantis: The Lost Empire. Two animated films that didn't do so hot on their initial release, but have since been bonded together as cult classics. But to truly get to the essence of these two films, to truly crack their legacy, we must venture forth and take a look at both of their tie-in games. With both receiving releases on the coveted PlayStation 1. Can the brilliant spectacle of their animated worlds possibly be translated into jiggly gelatinous polygonal Sony bits? Let's find out. Water! Sony finally did it. They finally found their own 3D platforming Italian, and it's him, it's Vinny. Oh! Atlantis: The Lost Empire for PS1 is this sort of Donkey Kong 64 meets Tomb Raider type game, and somehow that fits so well. Where you're playing as the cast of characters, all with different abilities to help you platform your way through. Milo, obviously your standard character who you'll be controlling the most. He's got his trusty Atlantean boomerang, and in typical movie game fashion, you're fighting the most random shit. Bugs, giant enemy crab, and a purple tiger that Big Dick Vinny will scrap with his bare hands before stuffing it up with a grenade. I'm so what? Vinny, true to the movie, is your demolition expert who can blow down structures to use as ramps and bridges. And Mole, take a guess what Mole does. Don't tell anyone now, but he digs.
Holy shit, I'm gonna come.
Yes, Mole digs, and he's like too stout to jump, so he's kind of limited in platforming, but you also need him to light up dark areas. But when you need someone to do all that and be able to jump, you got Audrey, who gets a whole gat to light motherfuckers up. Welcome to the great city of Atlantis. We are but a peaceful people, and we simply ask you put away all weaponry when entering our... Stop resisting arrest. And finally we get Kida, partway through the game, who feels pretty well-rounded in terms of platforming and combat, since she can jump the farthest and she can use her staff as an up-close and ranged weapon. You also collect these different colored crystals which you can combine with her staff or Milo's boomerang for different effects, like the orange will wipe out enemies in a big high-C orange shockwave blast. You got the Breaking Bad blue crystal which increases your range, stuff like that. You can basically go throughout the whole game without ever even noticing this. It's just like there if you want it. I'm sure kids playing this in 2001 totally glossed over this feature. It doesn't matter, but it's cool that it's there, I guess. The only character that isn't here is Sweeney. You get this whole diverse cast, and they're like, no, not the black one. And it's not like there wasn't room for him, it's weird. There's certain puzzles where you need a character with above average strength to move big boulders and blocks, something Sweeney would have been perfect for. He's like the tank of the group. But they give it to Vinny, which, okay, makes sense. Vinny is OP, I recognize that. And also, Milo. Of all people, Milo, scrawny nerd boy. Kida, ancient Atlantean warrior, can't move big boulder, but scrawny-ass Milo can? What? I guess it must have been the steady diet of canned beans you'll be picking up that somehow found its way to Atlantis. That's how you know it's good. But really, you'll hardly be needing any health pickups or anything like that. I'm telling you, this is a very lax game, and honestly, I kinda like it. It kinda reminds me of those traditional Lego games in a way, where it's like it's easy enough for kids, but still engaging and relaxing enough for adults to play. It's a very chill adventure game that holds up really well for an early 3D licensed game released near the end of the PS1's life. It's bonkers how they managed to stretch out the movie's plot to keep the game going, but it doesn't feel like filler. It plays to the game's benefit. Like here, oh shit, this door won't open. Maybe I need a key or something. Nope! You roll a woolly mammoth frozen in a ball of ice down a hill so you can break free and smash through it. And next thing you know, you're playing through this dope-ass Crash Bandicoot knockoff. Sure, why not? They throw in just enough fun ideas like this to keep things interesting.
That did it. Now he's angry. Keep on your toes.
You also get these vehicle sections, which are kept simple enough that they hold up so well. Like the truck one where you're just speeding against the clock while everything's crumbling around you like you just blew up a Halo ring. Also, what is Milo doing in the save screen? He's like sizing you up. He looks like he's about to start hugging you from behind when you're alone in the walk-in freezer on your first day working at McDonald's.
Oh yeah, hey girl. Yeah, oh yeah, you'll do just nicely.
You'll be back.
The platforming and camera actually hold up pretty well. I didn't really have much of an issue with it, but there is still some expected jank. Like 1 second everything will be fine, and then the next Milo just can't get upstairs because of his frail soy boy bones. The combat is so simple it's hardly an obstacle. Like half the time you could just breeze through enemies, or they just stand there and don't do anything at all. Excuse me, Mr. Slug, I need to access that little switch behind you.
Oh yeah? Oh yeah, well it's my job. You see, I'm the guardian slug of the switch over there, right?
Yeah, I just gotta press that switch.
I just told you my job. No, I'm not allowed to let anyone through, so no one's getting through. No one's getting through.
It's not like your job is
What?
that important. It's
What?
not like.
What?
No, I just gotta. I mean,
What?
it's not like
What'd you say?
your job's
What'd
that
you say?
important anyway.
What?
What? No one's
you say?
No one's touched that switch for what? Like
What did
8,000
you
years,
say?
probably.
What did you say about my job?
What?
What'd you say? You said my
What?
job's
I don't
not
get it. I
important.
don't get it. What is this? What is this?
What'd you say?
Some sort of
You said
is this a
my
power
job's
play
not
for
that
you?
important,
Is this a
mate.
power
Look at my
play for
face
you?
right now. You see how shocked I am?
I really don't know what there is to
nothing
explain
to
to you
explain.
further.
I've
You're
told
coming
you
up
every-
here
I've
holding
tried being
on,
polite
pointing
to
that
you.
staff at me.
I'm not
What
pointing
aggressive-
at anything. I'm just
Tell
holding
me my
Do
staff.
you not
I'm
do
just
the one thing
holding
I'm
it
supposed to
here.
do and raising your voice?
I've been perfectly
raising your
clear.
voice. I
I've
get
been
the
perfectly
sense
clear
you're going to be violent.
Violent?
You're gonna be
Who's violent?
You're threatening me. You're threatening me.
You're
My
the only one
job.
saying that, and I'm asking you
My job.
politely.
Some of us are
politely
proud
to
of the
do
work
me a
we do.
favor. Do
Believe
me
it
a
or not.
solid.
Matter of fact,
Do
some
me
of
a
us are proud
solid.
of the work we do
Oh,
here.
big deal.
You guard a switch all day.
we go.
Nobody's
There we
coming.
go again with the
Nobody.
patronizing
Just
tone.
let-
Patronizing tone.
Just let me
Okay,
through.
It's that right there. I'll get the sense you're going to be violent.
I
you need
will.
to back
I
away.
will.
You are
need to
pushing
back
me. You're
away,
power
sir.
tripping.
Sir.
Here, take that.
Sir.
Take that.
Oh. Damn.
None of the levels in Atlantis are too complex or anything either. Most have you exploring for a single specific item or exit, and once you reach the city of Atlantis, you get these stealth sections, if they can even be called that, where you gotta avoid the Atlantean guards, but even here they just sometimes stop and stare at you. Sir, I'm begging you to stop doing what you're doing with your face. It's not okay. I mean, it's not okay. The PS1 can't really capture those awe-inducing Atlantis visuals from the movie, but they try. And you end up with a cute, colorful adventure that's still pretty nice to look at even when you glitch the game.
Oh lordy, what was in those beans?
The only level that straight up sucked was ironically the water one. Yes, the water level in Atlantis sucked, where you're slowly swimming through this labyrinth of tunnels, and it gave me a massive headache. But it was still manageable, and luckily the level design everywhere else holds up perfectly fine.
Lone Star, we meet again. This time for the last. Now it is I who will have the jump on you. How the turns have taken. Oh, you can just walk right past me. That's fine. You may have the high ground on this day, but this isn't over. You hear me? I will haunt you for the rest of your days. I'll spit on your grave. You hear me? I'll spit on your grave.
You get this dope-ass finale where you fly those Atlantis hovercrafts shooting down planes, and you do your final duel with Chip Hazard. And I don't know who made this a rule, but like every licensed kids game final boss is always just like a big circle you gotta run around. Well, that's the end of that one. You save Atlantis, and here's the ending of the movie in all its ultra-compressed glory. And that's like the prize with these movie games, isn't it? As a kid, either you had the game, but you haven't seen the movie, so these little clips are everything to you, or you've seen the movie, but these clips are gonna be the only way you rewatch it in a long time. Even the bonuses you collect are just to get extra scenes. I think if you really love Atlantis and you're just looking for a laid-back adventure game that strikes a good balance of being easy but not too dull, this is a fun one. Oh, and one last pro gamer Junko tip, these controls are so simple that they do translate very well to a PSP, I'm just saying. That's all I gotta say about that. Sky Space! That's right, Treasure Planet got a PS1 release. How weird is that? Like, I get there were clearly some later PS1 titles, but something about a late 2002 game like this coming out is so bizarre to me. It just don't look right. It's got that same energy as Monsters Inc. on Game Boy Color or Order the Phoenix on Game Boy Advance. Like, yeah, sure, I get they exist, but like, it shouldn't. Treasure Planet did get a PS2 release that plenty are familiar with, yet this PS1 version went very under the radar just because of how unexpected it was. And when you take into account that the movie that it's based off of was a financial bomb, I can only imagine how obscure this version has become. Even the cover art kinda has this bootleg looking quality to it, or like they just ripped the characters off from a coloring book or something. This is not what they look like in the movie. And in motion, it's so surreal to see, like Morph? Dogbird? What are these characters doing as PS1 models?
Jimmy, this planet's gonna explode!
In here, you got a pretty similar game to Atlantis in terms of pacing, where you're hopping around with some light combat, breezing through these pretty chill levels, but here, you're solely playing as Jim with little Morph at your side, fulfilling the classic role of cute 3D platforming sidekick on your shoulder. Unlike Atlantis though, you get a double jump, and this is a complete game changer, with the platforming feeling more front and center and engaging as you have room to correct mistakes now too. Couple that with Morph being able to stretch out as a glider at the height of your jumps, and you have this pretty tight and faster paced platformer, way more engaging than you'd expect from a PS1 licensed game released in 2002. It feels unexpectedly polished, and I can only imagine it's because of how late of a release it was. It's a trip and a half because while yes, this is clearly a bit of a riff on Spyro the Dragon, even though gems you collect look exactly the same, but you can even kind of sense the influence of Jak and Daxter a bit here and there, which is crazy because that means we have a PS1 game that seems to have taken notes from a PS2 title. Especially the way you interact with the common folk of Treasure Planet and helping them with random tasks and chores as minigames. Things like shooting womp rats, collecting fruit, and time trials, things like that. The combat here is also decent enough. You're equipped with both the sword and a little short-range laser as you hunt for treasure. The real treasure being potentially more clips of compressed Treasure Planet to watch. And yes, we're doing that again.
Just what I was looking for!
And even this is nicely kept simple. You could just blast these McClunky pirates and send them flying backwards. That's right, Jim Hawkins always shoots first with no remorse.
It's my responsibility to operate this here lift system. Are you wanting to take a ride on the lift?
Yeah, sure, I'll use the lift.
You know, I had a buddy who took up a gig working on the third rock from the sun. Said he was posted up on some sort of city trapped underwater. Said he was doing a security job protecting the switch. You wouldn't happen to know anything about that, would you?
It didn't have to be like this. Between each main level for your vehicle section, yes, we do have the solar boarding. And it's okay, they're mostly these time trials that go on way longer than they should. It's super obvious padding. Because this game is pretty damn short. Like, I can tell they were sweating nervously hoping to stretch out what they could. Atlantis, the game was a cool 6 hours. This is like less than half that, and shit, I'm not complaining. I'm playing a PS1 licensed game that hardly anybody knew about 20 years after the fact. I think it served its purpose for that one after-school program that randomly had a scratch disc of this game. But come on, 6 long laps of this with little variation does get old. And every other level is this, it's these time trials, and if you took these sections out, you could probably beat the game faster than it would take you to watch the actual movie. But man, they did a great job at translating the film to a PS1 title. Treasure Planet is just too cool to fail, I guess. Especially the latter half of the game. Aw shit guys, look, we've reached the gold mine of PS1 treasures with enough gold doubloons to put nasty Nork to shame. Complete in-box copies of Tron Bon galore. Ooh, they've got the Wu-Tang controller. One of the mini-games has you making a stew for the big alien pirate papa. Come on, that's worth the price of admission alone.
Ah, Jimbo. Thank you, lad. Now you know what they say. A crew is only 3 miles away from a mutiny.
Hey wait, why'd you say that, Silver? Well, it's a bit of a weird thing to say. What are you playing? Oh no! Who could have seen this coming? An entire betrayal of ideals! I thought you would be my father figure! Did the song on the boat mean nothing to you? You're gonna pay!
You just don't get it, do you, Jimbo? I'm not silver.
It's me, the Guardian Slug, the whole time. Ooh. Here to spit on your grave, YungJunko. God damn, you beat me. Thanks for playing. Here's the compressed scene from the movie. You earned it. And there we have it. You could tell that even with probably what was a very, very limited window of development time, that the devs focused on doing what they could to make sure that everything produced, while really short, was still pretty polished and fun, and hey, I respect the hell out of that. It's not something you'd ever expect from such a late release movie game on the PS1 of all things. They could have easily just put out a quick cheap mess of a license game, who's gonna know but a few snot-nosed 6-year-olds. But they didn't. They made a pretty damn fun platformer, one that actually benefits from the influence of the PlayStation 2 era despite being a PS1 game, and that's pretty cool. It may not be as complete as Atlantis, but if you ask me which one I'd be more likely to replay, it'd be this. And hey, little secret, this one also works pretty well on one of them PSPs too, huh? Alright, so we got some solid PS1 titles, but what about Treasure Planet on PS2? Imagine 2002 buying a brand new cutting-edge console and the first thing you see is Dogbert slowly bumping and grinding his furry coochie on the level select screen. Bad boy, naughty, we have company. If the PS1 version of Treasure Planet proudly took most of its platformer influence from Spyro, then fittingly this PS2 version is Jak and Daxter, full stop. I mean, it's eerie. Having these pointy-eared cartoony characters look you dead in the eye and trying to bum some favors off you, just come on, this feels like Jak and Daxter's weird cousin. And it works almost too perfect, almost to the point where it's like we were always meant to experience these characters and this world in this way, as a PlayStation 2 platformer, and a pretty damn good one. Here you're mainly completing objectives to unlock these energy pillars, and you have these different contextual abilities with Morph to help your way through. You can use Morph as a giant hammer, a jetpack, one power-up pad lets you use Captain Silver's robotic arms to smash down crates and doors. This is a dream come true. Jim and Morphe as a duo are great PS2 mascots, with Jim looking all too cool for school with his stupid little haircut and Morph being absolutely adorable. The solar sailing levels here are another beast. They are way more high-octane, fast-paced, and thrilling, with you now having to release your sails and duck under oncoming objects, and you could grind on rails. It plays great. It really captures the steampunk tubular tone we saw of it in the movie.
A solar surfer, eh, Hawkins? I used to have one of these when I was a youth. You'll have to grind like a Montresorian steelworker to succeed here.
Oh shit, no wonder Dogbert's working it so hard. But what other Atlantis and Treasure Planet experiences can we dig up? Well, if you were one of them kids who are fans of cereal, you might have found a CD-ROM waiting for you in the bottom of your gross-ass Honey Smacks you begged your mom to buy for you just so you could get Atlantis Search for the Lost Journal. Cereal Pack and Atlantis game might sound like an activation phrase for a sleeper agent, but it's also this, which came out a whole month before the movie's release until later being bundled as the prologue level for the complete package of the game Atlantis Trial by Fire, where they put Milo on the cover looking like Doc Ock.
Instead, I chose something different. I chose the impossible. I chose...
Honey Smacks.
Would you kindly head to Ryan's office and kill the son of a bitch?
Oh, you thought I was kidding about all those BioShock comparisons, weren't you? No, we finally did it. It's a first-person shooter Atlantis with this incredibly gloomy and dark atmosphere, coupled with this low-budget, late 90s FPS look, and a lot of these levels can be pretty unsettling. The game opens with this incredible FMV sequence of these Vikings coming across Atlantis, and I was like, no way they made this for this game. This is too well animated, and apparently, this was a deleted scene that was originally going to open the movie. Makes sense that they'd cut it, but I'm glad they repurposed it somewhere, even if it is a super compressed scene, because it's so well done. Search for the Lost Journal is a pretty simple and straightforward prequel to Atlantis, taking place on one of Milo's grandpappy's expeditions, and I mean it's simple. It's a first-person adventure game that came with cereal. What can you expect? Like here in this tomb, you have to complete the 4 Trials of Atlantis, where you walk into these 4 rooms and grab the thing and that's it.
Not bad, kid.
And then you proceed to fall through the floor and the game crashes.
I told you this was a wild goose chase.
Trial by Fire, on the other hand, follows Milo through the events of the movie, and let me be the first to tell you, this game has absolutely no right being as terrifying as it is, with each level being chock full of frights and honey bunches of nopes.
Alright, why is he just staring at the wall? Oh my god, he's coming back!
Where the PS1 game and the movie did have some grit to it, it was largely colorful and cartoony. This is hell. This is surprisingly atmospheric and dark. This doesn't look like a Disney game. This shit looks like Hexen. You go through this abridged retelling of the film, and even for a super low budget time game, that first person perspective of traversing these ancient deadly ruins works really well. You start off with this janky submarine level where so much as a fish's fart bubble will wipe you out, but when you actually make it to the shooting sections, this is when the game becomes this anxiety-inducing survival horror, where you try to get through this dark labyrinth where around every corner might be these giant screeching bugs that try to hunt you down. They're pretty stupid and it's not challenging or anything, but it is unsettling hearing their screams echo from every direction while you try to figure out just where to go. I can see this being an absolute nightmare for any children who happen to stumble upon this game in their dad's binder of CDs. Next level, just like the movie, has you escaping from your burning camp while being hunted by a swarm of fireflies. The next thing you know, you're in a maze fighting demon reptiles. Look at this winding bridge where it looks like you're about to reach the gates of hell. It's a neat, low-budget Atlantis title with a great atmosphere that's best played with all the lights off and a bowl of cereal, without any milk. But what if I told you there was something even more bizarre? What if I told you there was a Treasure Planet game that takes place 5 years after the events of the movie, with Jim Hawkins now as an adult, commanding his own vessels against alien pirates in an RTS title that immensely expands the lore of this universe, where you can fly a ship with space whales, and that you have these bombastic naval battles in sky space, and it came out a whole month before the actual film? What if I told you that exists?
Because it does! This is Treasure Planet Battle at Procyon.
A game that shouldn't exist, and hardly anyone knows exists, but somehow it willed itself into existence, and thank God it did, because it's awesome. I mean, this Treasure Planet Space Pirate Battles is a strategy game where you can plot your ship's course, select your crewmates, customize your ship's defenses, and then spiral into these explosive shootouts with all hands on deck, cannon on cannon, until one of you is nothing but stardust. Yarg! But most of the time you'll be doing this. Yeah, this is slow. I'm talking really slow. I'm at full speed ahead and we're barely moving. And this is really one of those games where you're better off busting out the PSP or putting a movie or show on in the background, because you have these really drawn out travel sequences between each enemy encounter and objective. I'm not kidding. I was actually taking pee breaks, and let me tell you, I piss hard. This is another Treasure Planet game that desperately pads out its length, but this time it's just by stalling. And if you have the patience for it, you get this pretty chill strategy game about space boats and pirates that's essentially the Treasure Planet 2 we never got. The story brings back a lot of the characters together, and again, this came out before the movie. If you're a Treasure Planet fanatic and you can stomach some of the slowness, you have to check this one out. So, Treasure Planet and Atlantis are pretty out there when it comes to Disney films, and their handful of video game tie-ins are evidently just as bizarre, and I'd say just as underrated too, with some cool pre-release spin-off sequels and some dope-ass PS1 games. If only Strange World were as lucky.